for class today. All right, so tell me what you can about x squared minus 6x minus 27. Just give me some highlights. What can you tell me about that?
It's in standard form. It's in quadratic.
What can you tell me about x squared minus 6x minus 27?
It's in
Let's
standard
see.
form.
Let's see how many things you
She
can
said it's
get.
in standard form.
All right, it's in standard form. Very good. Standard form.
Thank you.
Very good. So remember, standard form is ax squared plus 8 bx plus c. What else can you tell me about it?
You can graph it. You can graph it.
You can graph it. Wonderful. You can solve it. How can we solve it? How many ways can we solve it? We can solve it by factoring.
Don't give that to him. I'm sick.
Thank you.
Can you plot it?
We could plot it, so we could graph it. We can graph it. We can factor it. How else can we solve it? What else can we use?
It's called quadratic formula.
The quadratic formula. Very good. So we could use the quadratic formula. All right. So what else can we tell by without talking about finding a solution for it? What can by just looking at our equation? Right. Well, I just gave one away. It's an equation, right? By just looking at it, what can you tell me about it?
Y-intercept.
The y-intercept. What's our y-intercept?
-27.
Negative 27. So we know that our y-intercept is negative 27 because our last number or our last term, when it doesn't have a variable, is our intercept, our y-intercept.
Yep.
What else can you tell me? Can you tell me its direction?
Oh yeah,
Right. So it's what?
It's going down.
Is it what's in front? Is it positive or negative in front of the x squared? It's positive, so therefore it's going up or down? It's going up. So, because remember, if it's negative, it's going down. If it's positive, it's going up. So it's going up. I just put upward direction. All right, what else can we tell? What else? Okay, so some of the other things that we could tell, since we already know that we could solve it by factoring. Huh? Yes, we could find the vertex. So we could use a formula to find the vertex. How do we find the vertex? What's our first step in finding the vertex?
Find X.
We find x. So we have to find x. So we're going to find x is equal to negative b over 2a. And then once we have x, we're going to plug it back into or substitute back into our equation to get y. And that will give us an x, y will give us our vertex. All right, anything else? Anything else you can think about?
The axis of symmetry.
The axis of symmetry. Where do we find our axis of symmetry?
I forgot.
It's the same equation.
The axis of symmetry is the same equation, so it's the same. It's
X equals
x,
yeah.
right? So we can find axis of symmetry. All right. So now the reason why I had you go through this is because one of the things that we have to realize is that one equation can give us a whole. We can get a whole lot of different questions from it, and especially when we're looking at standardized tests like. When we talk about standardized tests like the SAT and different things like that, they can ask you any one of those questions, and you should be able to answer it. All right? So we also know that it has a maximum and minimum, and we could talk about that. All right? So, but what we're going to do today is we're going to take a look at the test that I gave you on Tuesday, and we're going to go over it step by step. Most of it you're going to do on your own. Meaning that you're going to come up on the board and you're going to show me how it works. Because once we go through a few of them, we'll be able to get all of them done. All right? So this is your opportunity to actually get some bonuses for working on the board.
Give me your,
All right, so our first question, our very first question asks us, the U-shaped curve when a quadratic function is graphed is called the parabola. So everybody should know that by now. Every time you see this, we have the parabola. We know that on one side, straight down the middle, we have our axis of symmetry. We know that whatever is happening on one side is happening on the other side. We know that this is our vertex. So there's a lot of things that we can talk about just by looking at our parabola. What's our first step? Anybody can help her out? What's our first step?
Find the ABC. I mean, the vertex. Oh no, found. Hold on. Show got that. Which question are you doing?
Your A, B, and C first. Very good. Wonderful. So far, so good, right?
Number one was working.
All right, so hey guys, everybody following? All right. So now I noticed she didn't speak while she was doing the example or the question. But if we could give her a little time, let her explain it to us real quickly. Let her explain to us.
Get off your lips.
Mr. Lewis.
The equation y equals x second plus 12 But first I found A, B, and C, and A is -3, B is 12, and C is -8. And I use this first equation to find, right? Find x. I use x equals -b 2a. And so B is 12, so I plug that back in.
Yes, hold on. Look.
So if I want to take that,
No.
I did 2, -3, and -12 divided by -6 is 2, so
Okay, and then the next step is to?
Go back to the original equation and plug it into the place again. So that's what I did.
All right.
And then I did before.
All right. So we found out that the vertex is 2, 4. So which direction is it? Very good. So which direction is our equation going? Down. So therefore, so if we were to graph this, our vertex is at 2, 4. So we would find 2, 4, and our vertex would be like this. Our graph would look something like this. So we find 2, 4.
That's what I was thinking.
And this here will be -8, and here will be this will be our two answers that we would need to find. But this here, our vertex will be 2, 4. All right. All right. So the question was, where does this come from? Remember, the first thing that we did, we found our A, B, and C values. Then we plugged it into this equation, -b divided by 2a, to find out what our x coordinate was. So the -12 is because it's -b, so it'll be -12. 2 times -3. -3 is our a, so we put -3. That's how we got it. Yeah. So what about number 3? Number 3 is asking for the axis of symmetry, so
Right, we do the same thing.
so we do the same thing, what we got, and how we get.
Right, we said x equals
No, he gonna show.
So how you want?
Because x is equal to our axis of symmetry. So Amari's putting it on the board. Because it's a negative, right? Because it's negative, it goes down. Number 5. What do we have to find for number 5?
Wash my hands. This is wash You gotta find the maximum.
So that's what we're doing. So once you put it in, then I'll.
Y'all bring my pants, right? You gotta find the maximum.
Number 4 was down, right? It pointed down. Number 5, we have to find the minimum. Where do we find the minimum or the maximum? Where do we find
If
it?
the number is, if the number is what? Negative?
No, that's how we find which direction it is. But how do we find our minimum or maximum? Right, but what do you have to solve for? You have to solve your vertex and you have to solve for the y coordinate, right? So we're gonna go through the same process again with our x and y. So let's do this on Yes, we're on 5. So our equation, y is equal to x squared plus 4x.
I put minimal too, so.
Plus 3. Alright, so A is 1, B is 4, C is 3. Alright, so I'm gonna just put it down and you're gonna solve it for me, right? So we have to find x. X is equal to negative b over 2a, which is equal to negative 4 over 2 times 1, which is negative 4 divided by 2, which is equal to, Ms. McMillan? Negative 4 divided by 2 is? Negative 2.
I got negative.
It's negative 2.
Because you said you wanted to solve it, so I put you
No,
on.
I was saying, I needed, okay, so you know how when you give somebody a question, you tell them once, but you gotta explain it a little bit more than that? Like, oh, yeah, I know okay, so you give me a question, 1 plus 1 is 2, but you gotta tell me why it's 1 plus 1, like, you gotta, yeah.
Okay, alright.
So why you
So,
put the X?
so we found out what x is, so now what's our next step?
Okay, time out, we gotta go back over, so why you put negative b over 2a?
Because that's our formula. Our formula is negative b over 2a to find our x coordinate.
I said the back.
Everybody your paper.
Here's the formula right here.
Open it. It's a
Negative b over 2a, we've used it twice before, right?
So we gonna ask the symmetry?
It's the same, the axis of symmetry is the same as our x coordinate, so we find our x coordinate. And from our x coordinate, we use it to find our y coordinate. So now we're going to take what we got, our answer for our x, and substitute it back into our equation. So now we find, so y is equal to negative 2 squared. Hey guys, come on.
I don't understand.
You got some blessed?
Alright, so we have negative 2 squared plus 4 times negative 2 plus 3. Because we've taken our x coordinate, substituted back into our equation to find out what y is. Because of the point. So we have our x coordinate and our y coordinate. Alright? So in order for us to find our x coordinate, we developed a formula that says our x coordinate is equal to negative b over 2a. The b is from, where we get our b is from our standard form of our equation where it says ax squared plus bx plus c. So that b is that number in front of our x value. We substitute for our letters by using the numbers that we've termed, the one without the variable. And how we can actually look at and solve that, how we can actually look and solve that is, we have y is equal to, if we're talking about our y-intercept, what about our y-intercept? How do we define our y-intercept? It's a point where it crosses the y-axis. If it's a point where it crosses the y-axis, that means it has, what is our x-coordinate? 0. So if our x-coordinate is 0, just like with our vertex, we know that it's 0. So if we're putting 0, so now if we take 0 and put it into our equation, what will be left? Just the 24, because 0 squared will give us 0, 11 times x will give us 0. And all we have left is the 24. So that's how we're able to calculate our y-intercept.